After World War II ended in 1945, Korea found itself at a crossroads. The country had been occupied by Japan since 1910. With Japan's defeat, Korea was finally free. However, this freedom came with a heavy price division. Instead of becoming one unified nation, Korea was split in two along the 38th parallel. This line divided the country into two zones of occupation. The Soviet Union administered the north and the United States administered the south. This division was meant to be temporary. The initial goal was to hold joint elections and establish a single Korean government. However, tensions between the Soviet Union and the United States quickly escalated. The Cold War was emerging. It cast a long shadow over Korea's future. The two superpowers failed to agree on the terms of Korean unification. This failure had devastating consequences for the Korean people. The division of Korea was a tragedy for the Korean people. It separated families and friends. It also sowed the seeds for decades of conflict and division. The two Koreas would develop along very different paths. The North embraced communism under the leadership of Kim Il-sung. The South, supported by the United States, established a capitalist democracy. The arbitrary division along the 38th parallel, a line with no historical or cultural significance, had profound implications. It marked the beginning of a long and painful journey for the Korean people. This period set the stage for the Korean War and the enduring division that continues to this day. The division of Korea was never intended to be permanent. However, the escalating Cold War between the Soviet Union and the United States made reunification increasingly difficult. Both superpowers sought to expand their influence in the region. Korea, caught in the middle, became a pawn in this geopolitical chess game. The United States, fearing the spread of communism, sought to establish a strong anti-communist presence in South Korea. They supported Syngman Rhee, a staunch anti-communist, as the first president of the Republic of Korea in 1948. Rhee's government, though authoritarian, received significant financial and military aid from the United States. In the north, the Soviet Union established the Democratic People's Republic of Korea under the leadership of Kim Il-sung. Kim, a communist guerrilla leader who fought against Japanese occupation, quickly consolidated power. He implemented a socialist system modeled after the Soviet Union. This system focused on heavy industry and military buildup. The two Koreas, backed by their respective superpowers, became increasingly at odds. The North, claiming to be the legitimate government of all Korea, prepared for military action. This preparation was driven by a desire to unify the peninsula under communist rule. The stage was set for a conflict that would draw the world's attention and have lasting consequences for the Korean peninsula. The simmering tensions between North and South Korea finally erupted into open warfare on June 25, 1950. On that day, North Korean forces crossed the 38th parallel, launching a surprise attack on the south. This invasion marked the beginning of the Korean War, a brutal conflict that would claim millions of lives and further solidify the division of Korea. The United States, invoking the principle of collective security under the United Nations banner, swiftly intervened in the conflict, providing military support to South Korea. The conflict quickly escalated into a proxy war between the superpowers, with the Soviet Union and China backing the North. The Korean War was a brutal conflict. It caused widespread destruction and immense suffering. The fighting raged for 3 years, devastating both North and South Korea. Cities were reduced to rubble. Countless civilians were caught in the crossfire. The war finally ended with an armistice agreement on July 27, 1953. However, no peace treaty was ever signed. The two Koreas remained technically at war, separated by a heavily fortified demilitarized zone, or DMZ, along the 38th parallel. The Korean War had a profound impact on the Korean peninsula. It solidified the division of Korea, leaving a legacy of mistrust and hostility between the two sides. The war also resulted in the deaths of millions of Koreans, both soldiers and civilians. The Korean War serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of division and the devastating consequences of ideological conflicts.